So thank you everyone for joining the Art of Letters exhibition opening, and it's such an honor for me to have you all here with me. I'm very, very excited, and I think all the mentors and the mentees are too, to be able to wave this exhibition off the starting line. So maybe a little bit of background about the Art of Letters and what is it that we're trying to do. I don't know if you have noticed, or maybe it is not so in your part of the world, but it certainly is in mine. There was an occasion where I searched on Google and I entered in the values calligraphy art, and the images and the websites that came up, they were all about Chinese calligraphy or Arabic calligraphy, and those are very commonly accepted as collectible art, or as things that people would buy and put on their walls. And I realized that it's very hard for me to find a website or a platform that is dedicated to promoting calligraphy as an art form. So perhaps it isn't so in your part of the world, but it certainly is quite obvious in mine. And I remember something that Eleanor said to me and Nicole once, and she said that when she tells people that she does calligraphy, they ask her, "Oh, and so do you also do art?" Right, Eleanor? Mm. So somehow in the minds of people who love and collect art, calligraphy doesn't really figure in a very big way. And I started to feel like maybe something, can be done about that, because there is a new generation of art lovers that are rising. And I think, it would be wonderful if they could also consider calligraphy as one of their collectible, things to put on their wall. Maybe colors speak to them, or textures. And perhaps they can also be influenced or embraced into our circle, so that they will also think about collecting rather than just paintings and sculptures, but also calligraphy. Why not? And so with that in mind, I feel that I would like to take steps to see what I can do to add to that conversation. And then with that idea also came, therefore, the mentoring initiative, because I think that there are many artists who have gone before, and they have already forged some ways into this territory. And it would be great if we can have their experience and their guidance to help other rising artists who want to venture into this arena. So, and that was why the mentoring initiative was kind of like conceptualized. And because it was like such a new idea for many of us, it took some months for me to be able to put together the mentoring groups. And I'm very, very happy, very thankful that, Eleanor, Tony, and Marina, they are the inaugural mentors for the mentoring initiative under the Art Letters. And I really, really am so grateful for their generosity, because they undertook all these teaching and coaching of the mentees on a voluntary basis. There is no money that changed hands. I'm very, very grateful. So in that mentoring space, what was envisioned was that it is going to be a very intense season where the mentors and mentees, they have that intensive focus to explore and to discover how far they can take their art and how they can break through. And what for me was very interesting and very critical was that cross-cultural pollination, that we can cross time zones, we can cross cultural zones, and even intergenerationally, we are making connections. And also you will notice when you go into the exhibition, that we all have different areas of experience. Like Lisette was an architect, Judith, a graphic designer, and so on. So, and we have those, that rich background to cross-pollinate. So in the process of this mentoring journey, we wanted to give everyone a goal where we are working towards something, because, as you know, we can take forever to finish. if we don't have a goal, if we don't have an endpoint, we can just play and doodle. And, I think that having an exhibition at the end of the mentoring journey really gives us a focus. It gives us something to drive towards. And it encourages us to maybe push ourselves to go into a productive mode. So that was the reason why the mentoring journey culminates in an exhibition. And because it, it is such a rich learning experience, I think that in the course of this, we also discovered, and the mentors have shared this also, that it was not just a one-way street where the mentor is downloading to the mentee their knowledge and experience, but it was a mutually beneficial kind of relationship. So when you view the exhibition, you might see, for instance, that some of Tony's works have a little bit of Indian influence or Chinese, and that came from Ardi, came from Susan. And then in Eleanor's works, she tried to kind of like match with us, like I was exploring batik techniques, so some of the colors, some of the applications, we were kind of feeding off of each other in a positive way, in a good way. So this is why the name Symbiosis was chosen to represent to characterize the nature of the mentoring relationship, because we've all grown, we've all learned from one another, and it has been mutually beneficial. So together with that idea of learning together and that exchange and cross-pollination, I also felt that it would be great if we can draw in the community together to learn. And that's why we have the Symbiosis weekend events, where the mentors and mentees will be sharing some demos, their skills, and so forth. So, and this is the general thinking behind our Symbiosis exhibition and the weekend events. So I'm really, really very excited to introduce to you the thinking behind, and to invite you to join us in our weekend events, so that we can all also continue to cross-pollinate and continue to learn together as a community. And one of the other, highlights that I would like to mention will be the upcoming art auction. Yay! I'm very excited about this because I think that, it's a good way and a very fun way for us to interact with each other and to, bid for pieces that we like, a bit of competition to see who wins. And then importantly, we also want to introduce to the audience the idea of, that you can own some really very beautiful art, that is also calligraphy. And so, we have quite a few very beautiful pieces. Maybe I will give you a sneak. Would you like a sneak preview? Yes. Of the.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes. So let me just share with you. So this is one of the pieces. It's by Anna Pinto, and she's a calligrapher and graphic artist, I think, in New York. Beautiful piece. This is by Bakit, very, very fine lettering. This is by Barbara Close, beautiful. The seasons. This is a piece by Eleanor. It's one of her series of the quilted alphabets. It's beautiful. This one is by Gabriela Soba. And this is also by her, very beautiful. And this by Gemma Black, yay. Not many people know she plays the piano. And I've seen her in an interview where Gemma shared that playing the piano and calligraphy, they kind of help to, somehow reinforce one another. So I think this is a very neat expression. This one is by Yong-hee. She's doing some gilding here, her wrong letters, exploration. This one is by our Judith. It's by our Lisette. And this piece is very, very interesting. It's a collaborative piece by Tony Waters' group. So it traveled from Singapore to India. It traveled from India to the UK. And they collaborated on this piece, each bringing their own culture and their own way of expressing a connection with nature. And each artist didn't know what the other was going to produce. So in the end, this is the end result. And I think it's a very fabulous milestone piece of work. This one is by Marina. It's beautiful. One of her empty space expressions. And then the final sneak that I'm giving you today is this 4 pieces by Yukimi on wood, very beautiful pieces of works. So these are the things that you can look forward to be able to bid for in an auction. And I can tell you that the prices, the reserve price, the starting price, very, very reasonable, extremely reasonable. So you can look forward to owning some fabulous pieces of art. Yeah, it's amazing. Thanks. Such lovely pieces. So yeah, I know that you're going to look forward to scoring some of these pieces for yourself. Yeah. So one more thing that I would like to let everyone know is that the mentoring initiative, it doesn't stop here. This is actually just the beginning. And in the pipelines, we have Yukimi is leading a group. She is going to explore wearable calligraphy. I'm not sure what exactly, because they are keeping it under wraps, but I have seen some of Bakit, her postings. I think she's exploring fabric that can be written upon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with. So Yukimi has Nina Tran in her group, Bakit, and then Tiana. So she has a really tough job because they are in 4 different time zones. So just getting all the mentees together in the same space is already very challenging. Yukimi, I do not envy you. But we're all looking forward to see what they will exhibit. And currently their exhibition sort of like timeline seems to be pointing to an exhibition in the fall. So sometime in September, October, or maybe nearer the end of the year. And also, I'm very excited to also let you all know that Gemma Black has also come on board as a mentor. She is a very, very fine lettering artist, of course. We all know from Australia, and I'm very, very excited to see, how she will take her mentees through the mentoring journey. I haven't flagged off their group off the starting line yet, so I'm not going to let you know who are the mentees. But yeah, the group is going to start soon, I hope, and they will coincide their exhibition time with Yukimi. So along the way, there will be other groups that are started, and so I hope that it will give us, that space where we can all grow and learn together, and grow this community and see how, calligraphy can develop beyond what we have seen. So I would add to that conversation. Yeah, so that is my introduction, for the Art of Letters, the Symbiosis exhibition. So I, at this point, would like to, invite all the mentors and the mentees to propose a toast. So I believe they have all come prepared, and we've already, decided who is going to go first. So Eleanor will start, and then after that is myself and Nick, then followed by Marina's group, and then Tony. So Eleanor, take us away.
Okay, I just unmuted myself.
Yes.
I was just thinking how funny it is that I'm going first because of alphabetical order, because my last name is Winters and I'm always the last. So when Dorothy said we'll do it in alphabetical order, I figured I would be the last one. But I'm delighted to be the first, and I actually made a few notes of things I wanted to say, which I'm not going to say because Dorothy just said all of it beautifully and eloquently. And instead, I'm going to limit this to a toast to our a amazing mentees who are, I had originally thought students, but these are not students. These are really skilled, creative, wonderful artists. So, and as Dorothy said so perfectly, it's been symbiotic. It hasn't been me teaching them. And in fact, my feeling has been that Dorothy and Nicole, who are my mentees, worked a lot harder than I did. So I'm going to say here's to the mentees, to Dorothy, to Nicole, Lisette, Judith, Artie, and Susan, of course, Susan, who's extraordinary work, and especially to Dorothy, who's the sine qua non of this entire project, and Marina and Tony, the mentors. And again, to everybody out there in the calligraphy community and our friends who are visiting us today in this opening, here's to oops, get that in the camera. Here's to everybody, a toast and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eleanor. Lovely.
Thank you. So I think I'm next. So here's to, being always a learner, always a beginner at something, and never afraid to explore and experiment. Cheers.
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 Okay, Nicole is up.
Okay, my turn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me well? Yes. Okay, so for me, I'll say to a year filled with a whole lot of creative ideas. I think as artists, we need a lot of that. Cheers.
All right, cheers. Okay, Marina.
Amidst all these things we've gone through in these past 2 years, the good thing is that we still care for each other. Thank you, Dorothy, and mentors and mentees for being part of my life in this last year. We still have the will to learn and to be better. We still have the need to make art. So art has a healing power, and I toast for that, for more art, for more love, and for more conscience in this beautiful world we call home.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Marina.
Beautiful. And Lisette, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, my turn. Okay, I would like to toast to have some gatherings. May we meet in person sometime, have endless conversations, and continue sharing our love for arts. For now, let's keep doing it on Zoom. Cheers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Judith.
For me, I just want to thank everyone for joining us on this journey, and to a year where we can explore ourselves through our work, to be more honest and authentic, and to just enjoy calligraphy in all its forms. Yeah. Cheers.
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 Tony, you're next.
There we go. We adopted the hashtag 3 Giddy Gilders at the beginning of this process. Because as most of you all know, gilding is not always easy, but then, neither is calligraphy, as I know to my cost. So I would like to raise a mug to humor in the face of adversity.
Cheers.
Carrying on.
All
Cheers.
right. Cheers. And is Susan here?
Yes, I am.
Susan.
Hi.
Hi.
I'd like to raise a toast to a most exciting year, to a lot of learning, getting things done in a hurry, and just to say that this is not the end of a journey, but a start of a new one for all of us. Cheers.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Ardi, where are you?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay,
I would like to raise a toast. Like Susan said, a lot of failures, but I had never enjoyed my failures, the best as I had this year, rather, 2021, 22. And looking forward to such beautiful failures because it, such shiny, shimmery, beautiful failures, which led me to a path where, to explore calligraphy, gilding, and making a lot of new friends in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right.
Yes.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Mm.
Wonderful. Well, I think I want to especially say thank you to all our family and, spouses, children, pets, I don't know, whoever figures very largely in your life and has been missing you because of your preoccupations. Oh, wait, did I miss Lisette? Did I miss Lisette in the toast? I did.
No, you
Lisette.
didn't.
No.
You didn't, don't worry.
Lisette, toast.
No.
She toasted.
Oh, she toasted. Okay. I'm sorry. I have been not. Oh my goodness. Sorry. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you to all our family and because as I think all of us know that calligraphy is something that takes art. It takes our time and our attention. And I really want to appreciate all our family and friends for putting up with, putting up, is that a good word? For accommodating our pursuits and for, stretching to allow us to grow and explore. So here's to all our family and loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, well, I have come to the end of my introduction and I'm going to send into the chat right now the exhibition link. It's live. Yay! Thanks. Thank you.
8 months in the
Nicole.
making.
8 months, yes, many months in the making. Thank you to Nicole for helping us to put this website together and for Judith at the last minute helping us to proofread and everything. So really a lot of heart has gone into this. So thank you for joining us. Feel free to hang around and ask questions if you have, or to share your comments, your thoughts about what I have shared today. If you want to leave at that is okay too, but I welcome you to stay and chat.
Dorothy, I was thinking maybe you could tell people, how do they submit to be a mentor or a mentee? How do people get to know this?
Okay, to be a mentor is by invitation. So generally, what for me is very important is that we share the same values about building community, about sharing, about imparting, not just skills and techniques, but I think that there are certain values that that you hold as an artist. There's a certain like what Judy said, authenticity. There's a certain integrity, and I do think that those values are very important to be transmitted. So, and the mentors usually are artists who have already forged the way into the realm of like not just calligraphy, but also maybe art, other forms of art, so that they can help us to break through, help the mentees to break through in those areas. As for the mentees, sometimes they approach me and they maybe share with me what are their artistic goals. Perhaps they want to grow in certain areas. And if I feel that there is a very clear sense of where they want to go and there is a real commitment because, you know, I think the mentors and mentees know a lot of work is required from the mentees. So I like to use that analogy of giving birth to a child. You know, the mentor is the midwife, but the mentee is the one that has to carry that baby and give birth. You know, so all that work is being done inside the mentee, and the mentor is there to just ease the passage, you know, of that birthing. So when the mentee, I feel that they are clear about a sense of direction and they really are committed, then comes the work to find the match between the mentor and the mentee. So that matchmaking is a bit tricky, because, you know, I do want to see cross-cultural, cross-generational, you know, to encourage that kind of pollination. So yeah, so that is a process, and there is a lot of conversation. It's not really like a fixed, you know, process. Yeah, does that kind of help to answer that? I think there isn't really like a fixed way, because so much depends on that relationship between the mentor and mentee and the chemistry that they have. But there certainly are very you know, interesting coincidences in this round of matching. Sometimes I approach the mentor and they have somebody in mind, and I have the same person in mind to match them with, and then the mentee also had that same person in mind, you know, so there is some kind of a serendipity in the process, and I'm open to discussing, yeah, with mentors and mentees. So anyway,
we have a
if
question.
Yes, Judy.
We have a question from King Woosh. Someone raised their hand.
Yes.
Kim, do you want to unmute?
Or is she just saying hi?
Is it a hi, or is it a raising a hand?
Maybe a hi. Yeah. Hi, Nina. I just saw you. Yeah. Does anybody else have questions or comments? Questions or comments?
I'm just really excited to see it. It feels very different when you're working on the works, and then to see it live on the website. Like the first time, Dorothy, you sent me just to look through, I was just so excited. And I was like, it's actually after 8 months, it just feels different to see it through the work, making of the work, through the photo taking of the work, which is a whole different process for a lot of us. And then through the editing, and then curation, and then to see it live, it's been a beautiful journey. And you know, it's just really nice to see it. Arati?
Yeah, about the photograph. I think Susan would agree with me. Gilding was one skill. Clicking pictures of gilded pieces. That was another thing. So it was a huge lesson that we learned, that, you know, gilding was one part, but we should have prepared ourselves, you know, in the skill, in probably learning the skill of photographing gilded pieces. Yeah.
Well,
I was telling Susan, yeah. Oh, I was telling Susan that both of us, we were both like running around the house trying to find a good place to take photos, and then the lighting and everything. I took 2 rounds. Marina's like, this doesn't work, this works, you know.
No corner of the house was left. The terrace, the balcony, 3 lights, spotlight, you know, the photographic, whatever the equipments, they were all called in for. But I don't know, it's out there for everybody to see now.
Yeah, it was different
we'll know
rooms.
if we've passed the exam or not in the photographic skills.
I can also explain a little bit about the different groups, and like Tony's group, they focused mainly on the gilding, but the challenge was to see how far they can take gilding, to experiment with it in ways that they have not experimented before. So Ardi, for example, she very bravely tried to gild on porous material, which is clay. And she succeeded, after many, many failures. It is a wonderful, wonderful experiment. And I think there were tears, right, Ardi? There were tears.
Oh yes, oh yes. The surface rolled all over the place. It was not a flat surface. So
And
it was a bold move.
And I think that for Ardi also there was the desire to incorporate her culture and the elements of her culture and her personal life, like her love for music, her love for nature, her appreciation for the sun, the moon, all these things come into her art, and you can see there is such a childlike appreciation for all these beautiful things that represent her nation, her people, and I really, really appreciated that, Ardi. I saw that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And for Susan, she was expressing the Peranakan culture, that were borrowing of themes and colors and motifs. So there's so much of digging into the self and then bringing it out. And for Susan also, I think she experimented with gilding on stone, which is an amazing, a very brave, a bold move. So taking gilding where it has never gone before. And of course, Tony is also, she's got some very beautiful new pieces that she has shared with us in this exhibition. And you can see the influence of her interactions with Ardi and Susan as well. And for Marina's group, they explored experimental calligraphy. And you can see them, delving into their personal lives and trying to convey very complex emotions about family, about relationships, through the arts, through the colors and the expressive calligraphy. So you can see those experimentations and explorations. And Lisette brings her three-dimensional, play of light and shadows into her works. And then Judy has a very sort of museum quality to her pieces, where, if we had a live show, you could have walked around her pieces, you could have maybe touched it, handled it. So I encourage you to, go and have a look and see how did these artists bring their emotions to bear on their pieces. So for my group, with Eleanor and Nicole, we were exploring traditional calligraphy, but we were trying to express emotions. We were trying to express our family stories and histories in a very personal way. Even though we are using traditional calligraphy, but we wanted, to use it to tell our stories. So those are the different approaches that each group took. And I hope that you can see that and enjoy the exhibition. Yeah. Do any of the mentors?
I think Tony was want to share something.
Yes, please, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is that the techniques that Artie and Susan were using, date back to the 12th century. And there are not many traditional gilders, traditional illuminators who worked at that sort of level worldwide. And it's all very well, reproducing a medieval manuscript, and I've done my fair share of that, but it's nice to bring those heritage skills up to date and use them in a different way. So there was an element of that included, so hence the gilding on a porous surface, gilding on stone. But a lot of the work that was done was very non-traditional, and I think it's great that gilding, if gilding can move on a bit, and come into the modern world, but using the old techniques, which are still the best, then I think that's a good thing, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you, Tony. Marina, do you want to say something? Do you want to add something?
Maybe I would say it was my pleasure to be part of this team. And we had the most interesting and inspiring conversations between mentors and with my mentees as well. We created bonds, and this is something that I really appreciate. It's not just about calligraphy, it's about community, it's about making friends, it's about caring for each other, as I said. And we have the same, we share the same passion. We love these arts. And so while some people were struggling or not knowing what to do, we were creating. We were having fun on Sunday mornings when we used to meet. It will be so hard not to meet again every Sunday with Judith and Lisette. It was so much fun. And then the meetings with the mentors, the conversations were so inspiring and so, how do you say, honest and open and clear. And we were flowing. That's the word for me. When things seem effortless, and that was our mentoring and mentor project or adventure, let's say. And thanks for that. And I'm very happy to see Yukimi coming to this because she's a lovely teacher and so generous, and Gemma Black as well. And so I'm very looking forward to see who else is coming into the ship to sail the adventure of taking calligraphy into some other level, which I really believe it's art, definitely.
Thank you, Marina. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Eleanor, would you like to add something to the conversation?
Yes. I think those of you who know me know I always want to add something. But I would just like to say that Dorothy touched on the fact that our little group, Dorothy and Nicole and I, were dealing with expressing emotion with our work, and it was bigger than that in a way. I think that for I almost said my girls, that's my generation, my girls, there were some very serious things that they were dealing with that could have been overwhelming, among which was COVID and isolation and other catastrophic events. And they found a way to channel this into creativity, which is extraordinary. And not just that they could do it, but what they did with it. And this is something that might not have happened. These were things that could have stopped people that were not as strong and resilient and creative and wise as my two mentees. So that has been amazing for me to be a part of, an observer of, to encourage them. As I said earlier, I felt that they worked a lot more than I did. And the work that I brought to it was a project that I've been working on for many years that somehow meshed with what they were doing. It was not the original intention, but I found that finding a way to make art out of history, to make art out of tragedy, to make art out of passion, to make art out of fear is something that we don't always associate with calligraphy. And that brings it back to what Dorothy said in the very beginning, which is that we're trying to bring calligraphy into the world as a fine art, but a fine art that has a reason. You know, I think the best art is there for a purpose, even if the purpose is joy and the purpose is pleasure. It's not just, you know, something you do. And I have found this, it opened up a lot of ideas for me in terms of not necessarily art, but in terms of how to face life. And for that, I thank Dorothy and Nicole.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodness. I don't know what's about to make me cry. Yeah.
Aw.
I was sharing with Maria, just now she was the very, very first to arrive, with her champagne in hand, because she's celebrating retirement. Wonderful. Cheers. And to a new beginning. So I was sharing with Maria that I feel like the lizard in the king's palace, while I'm going through all this. I'm just sitting there on the wall and enjoying the abundance, enjoying the mentors, their wisdom, their generosity. And I feel that I have been so enriched. And very often there is like a voice inside my head saying, why is it that you get to do this? How is it that I get to do this? And it's just an amazement that I get to do this, So I really look forward to facilitating more art making, more mentoring relationships, more community events where we can grow together as a community. And like Eleanor said, to take calligraphy to a different level, or not, maybe not calligraphy, but also lettering and the related arts like illumination to another level. So I invite you to journey with us, and please do, feel free to share your thoughts. If you have certain, you wish to be on board as a mentee or mentor, please, just send me a mail or, poke me on Instagram, and then we can start the conversation. So yay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I think it's like, I think Tony and Marina, and we all mentioned that, like, and as well as Eleanor, that it's been a hard few years, right? I mean, it's also, this pandemic has touched literally every single person in this room right now. It has touched all our lives very deeply. And through this, right, I think for a lot of us as well, calligraphy is a place of comfort. It's a place where we express ourselves. It's something we explore. And to find people on the same journey as us, or who have walked a bit further ahead and who can guide us, like Marina has been for us, like all the different mentors have been for us. It's something that we treasure a lot. As I treasure a lot, because I was a bit lost in my journey, and having this was something that gave me strength throughout this time, especially. So if there is anything, I treasure the fact that all of us have gone through this experience, in the sense that we've gone through something that's quite traumatic to our systems, that's disrupted our lives, and allow us to connect online. The fact that we're all online now, I think 2 years or 3 years ago, this wouldn't really have happened. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity, really, So yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Judith, actually adding on to that, we took so many things for granted before the pandemic. The pandemic made us all realize, for a moment, I think we were all shaken. Like you said, none of us expected that the entire world, would close down. And it was extremely tough to maintain your sanity, keep yourself protected, keep checking on your family members, not able to see them or visit them freely. That the things that we took for granted initially. And this journey or this art form kept us as a community so close-knitted, off of all the worries and pressures that were happening around the world. I would say, for me, it was very grounding every time I came and sat on my table. All the worries, I forgot. The moment I put, my pen to paper, or, gesso to paper for that matter, it was like I lived, or I got transcended to another world. very, very different from the world that we were actually feeling and seeing and watching melt around us. So it was traumatic, but at the same time, it was extremely healing because of the community that we are. We could talk to each other, we could look at art, like Eleanor, mentioned that, it's a happy place for all of us to go and feel the joy of life, that it existed, and to get inspired, to talk to, all our fellow artists, and keep creating something or the other in the hope of having a better day tomorrow. Yeah.
And as Marina always says, right, I love this thing where she says that it's just be kind to yourself. I think that's my most favorite thing, that she just tells us to play, but just be kind to yourself during this time, That's so important. I think that line saved me most, Marina.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, I think that it's probably time to, let everybody to say goodbye. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And I see on the comments, you are already enjoying the exhibits. You're already enjoying the feeling of being in the community, very friendly, very kind community. So I wish you very well, you and your loved ones. So I hope to see you at our weekend events. It's still not too late to sign up. We are going to be here. There is going to be a Meet the Mentors and Meet the Mentees session, so we can continue the conversation there to talk about our art and so on. So really, thank you everyone for joining, and yeah, I see you online in our Symbiosis events.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Dora.
you.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Eleanor. Thank you.
Bye.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Okay.
Wonderful. Oh, I should stop the recording, hey?